I believe we're recording. I'll say once again, my name is Valerie Orrock, the principal and of Emerald Park Elementary School. I welcome everybody, and we're going to have a short presentation tonight for about 15 minutes, and then we'll have an opportunity for people to ask questions, and the appropriate staff will supply information that they have, and then we'll go from there to another one of these if that's needed, if we warrant that. Okay, so welcome everybody. Emerald Park Elementary School. I have the pleasure of being the principal there with an amazing staff and an amazing neighborhood and a fabulous PTSA. I'm going to share my screen after I introduce a few people. So for a moment, I want everybody to turn off their camera. If you know how to turn off your camera. Okay, and I am going to introduce some people. When I say your name, would you please turn your camera and wave or curtsy or whatever you want to do? The first one is Michelle Cook. She's one of our kindergarten teachers, possibly your child's kindergarten teacher.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited. I've been teaching here at Emerald Park for 4 years. This will be my 5th year. And before that, I taught for 14 years at the Edmond School District in a self-contained kindergarten class. So I love my team, and I know that you will enjoy Emerald Park as much as I do.
Thanks, Michelle. The next person I want to introduce is one of our other kindergarten teachers, Jennifer Dietrich.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Dietrich, and this will be my 3rd year teaching at Emerald Park, and I've been teaching for 15 years. I've taught all kinds of grades, but I'm super excited to work with you and your child this year with Emerald Park. So excited for kindergarten to start and get to know you all and work with you.
Thanks, Jennifer. The next person I want to introduce is our data processor who serves as our registrar. So she's the person you're communicating with if you for enrollment records and various information that you need to give to the school, if you had a change of address or that sort of thing. So Judy Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Emerald Park. We're excited. It's going to be a fabulous year. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Judy. We have our veteran kindergarten teacher, Natalie Johnson.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie Johnson, and I'll be teaching kindergarten. I think this is my 21st year at Emerald Park and my 30th year teaching altogether. I've taught preschool through 6th grade, and I'm excited with the team that we have this year. I think we're going to be, it's going to be an exciting year for us. So welcome, everybody.
Thanks, Natalie. We have the newest member to our kindergarten team coming all the way halfway across the country to join us this year, Tessa Michalski.
Hi, everyone. I am Tessa Michalski. I'm from Wisconsin, and I just moved here, and I'm super excited to begin my 1st year teaching in kindergarten with you all.
Thanks, Tessa. Welcome. I wanted to also make sure that you got a chance to meet Jolene Spellman. She's our office manager. When we do have a chance to go back to the building and you come into the office, the odds are good that she'll be the person that you talk to, or if you make it a call. So Jolene, do you want to?
Sure. Hi, kindergartners. Hi, kindergarten parents. I'm so excited to see you all, and I can't wait to get to know everybody. And just know that I am always here, you parents, if you ever need anything.
And another important person we'd like to introduce you to is Wendy Mary, and she is our school nurse.
Wendy, we can't hear you. You had to unmute.
Thank you for that. So my name is Wendy Mary, and this will be my second year as school nurse at Emerald Park, and I'm very excited to meet you all.
If you don't feel good or get hurt, that's who will be helping you.
We have two other people that I'd like to introduce, but they are here in different capacity than our staff people. One is Jessica Huff, who is here as a parent, but she's also a first grade teacher. And the other one is Megan Carter, who is here as the president of our PTSA, and we'll probably say a few things a little bit later on. She also is a parent of a now first grader. So welcome. Is there anybody, staff people here that I'm missing? Okay, great. Then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with all of you. Make sure I get the right one.
That lady, that's your principal.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's try this one. No, that's the wrong one.
There's 43 people watching.
No, nothing. I think it's because it's an online one. It's searching for it a little differently than usual. Okay, let's try it one more time. Doesn't seem to want to let me do it. Oh, wait. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, I don't know if other people have it open, but for some reason it's not wanting to load. Here we go. Okay. Thanks for your patience. So as I said, the goals of tonight are to present you with an overview about Emerald Park and provide you a place for questions and introduce you to the staff. So we've already taken care of that first part. A little bit about Emerald Park. It serves about 520 students generally, K through 6. We do not have a preschool program. We have about 145 English language students. We have an integrated program that serve our special education, which we call inclusive education in Kent School District, serves about 45 students. Our class sizes ideally are about 23 in K through 3 as a maximum and about 27 in 4 through 6.
Valerie, it looks like we can't see it now. We're just seeing people with their cameras on, so we can't see the presentation.
Okay, we'll try it again.
I could see it. I don't know why some can, some can't. That's interesting.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Now I can see it.
Okay, great. Okay, well, one of the things that might not be the first thing that comes to mind for you when you think about starting school, but it is to consider the free and reduced lunch program and applying for it. It basically is a federal program, and by applying for free or reduced lunch, cost breakfast or lunch, you are able to, depending on your income, qualify for a free lunch and breakfast or a reduced cost lunch and breakfast. Now, that might seem irrelevant right now, given the beginning of the year with remote learning, but it is important because that qualification still applies even in a remote situation. And also, if you do not ever plan on using the free or reduced lunch, or you just only want to send your child to school with a lunch that you've prepared at home, we still encourage you to apply for it, because depending on how many families we have that qualify for it, it helps us with some federal funding and often gives us reduced costs for maybe school resources or contracts or events and outings and those sorts of things. So we want to really urge you to consider that. You can do it online, and you can also do it, well, probably nowadays you can only do it online, and there's information on our website. The second thing, one of the most important things about school, is learning. And we will be doing assessments for your students to understand where they are, what they're coming in able to do, and then we'll periodically assess them over cycles of 6 weeks. Teachers will do assessments based on lessons they teach, and then we also have larger benchmark assessments. ERLA, you'll hear about ERLA reading levels. Students will come home with little cards saying things they need to be working on for their independent reading level assessment. We have iReady Math, which is an online math program that we do at a test every year, 3 times a year, to see how students are progressing and growing, but they also are lessons that they can practice on home. Because we're in remote learning, teachers might be doing a little bit more of that than usual. And then there is the English Language Proficiency Assessment that is for students who, when you enrolled your student, if you indicated that there's another language spoken at home, that they're considered English language learners, and they'll get extra supports so that we make sure that they are getting fluent in English as well. Finally, there is the WAKids, and I'm not going to say too much about that because I'm going to turn things over to the people who are the experts on kindergarten learning, and that is our kindergarten teachers.
Valerie, do you want us to speak about this a little bit, or?
Yeah, why don't you explain what it is and how it works and what you're in the process of right now?
Okay, so WAKids is a program connected with the state, and then it helps with funding, but one of the requirements is that we assess the whole child in a multitude of different areas: social, emotional, physical, language, cognitive literacy, and math. So there's different things that we look for, and then when we're done with the report, then they get a report back to the parents letting them know what stage their child is in as far as in each of the subject areas. Does anybody else have anything to add to that?
Jennifer, Michelle, Tessa?
It's kind of an interesting one this year because we are not quite sure. I'm still waiting for more word as far as like if the assessments are going to be lessened because of the remote learning, or if we're just going to wait until we open to do it. So we're waiting to hear more, but it also comes with conferences before school starts. So we'll talk about that later on.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, the next slides are a little bit of information coming from from the kindergarten teachers, and I'll let you guys decide who wants to start out. We did our introductions. And this is a little bit about school supplies. Who wants to talk about that?
Michelle, did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I can talk about that.
Okay.
So we have come up with a list of our school supplies, and we broke them into 2 separate lists, thinking what you might need when you're doing homeschooling, and then what we would need when we're back in the classroom. We will be using these in different capacities, different activities we might be doing, and things that we might do together. Also things that we might have students be doing independent work for while we're doing our online learning. But these are kind of the things that you would most often find in the classroom that you will need to
to supplies. So we have 2 boxes of markers, a skinny and a fat, 1 box of 16 count crayons, and the beginner or jumbo pencils. The thicker ones are easier for kids to hold. Glue stick, spiral notebook, a pair of the blunt tip scissors, not the sharp ones. I suggest having a 4-year-old myself, you put that up high when not in use. And then a set of watercolor paints and some blank paper. And then the in-class supplies, again, those are things that we would be using when we are back in the classroom. Things like a backpack, headphones, folders, hand sanitizer, those kinds of things.
Michelle, as far as the backpack goes, I think we all request that it be a normal size backpack, not the small.
Yes, big enough to fit like folders and nothing with wheels.
Yeah, no wheels.
And one thing I'd like to add is that if there, sorry, this is Jolene Spellman. If there's any students or families that need support with school supplies, just email me at the office and we can help with that.
Thank you, Jolene. Yes, these are recommended school supplies. Of course, the school will do what they can to supply what they can as we roll out the school year. Is there anything else that the kindergarten teachers want to talk about at this time? Any other key information you want to share?
I think as far as the in-class one goes, and we can talk about it later, that we also ask parents to send extra clothes with it too. We didn't add that into the list, right, but that's something we do ask for on the side.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hand things over to Wendy Mary. She's our school nurse that you met, and she'll talk a little bit about getting prepared for school. We're in a different situation this year with remote learning, so there might be some different requirements now and maybe other requirements later. Wendy, do you want to share some of this?
I would love to, thank you. So we do ask that you try to have immunizations completed before we are actually in the buildings. It's also very important to make sure that all of the emergency information that we have for you is up to date. That way, if your child is sick or injured, we're able to reach you in a timely manner. Also, if your child has any health conditions, any life-threatening conditions, I do ask that you contact me. My email is at the bottom of this slide, and I do check it daily, so that would be appreciated. Thank you.
We go to questions. I'm going to unshare my screen or get back to here. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. So I want to give Megan Carter an opportunity to speak. She's the PTSA president I introduced earlier. Megan, did you have some things that you wanted to share with our incoming families?
Sure. Hi, everybody. As Valerie said, I'm Megan Carter, the PTSA president. I just wanted to welcome you all. I have a first grader now who completed kindergarten last year, and I also have an older one who's going into 5th grade. So I've been around Emerald Park for quite a while. Our PTSA typically does fun events and supports all stuff at school. So this year we're shifting a lot, and we will be supporting more basic needs, helping make sure that all the kids have the food they need, that they have the school supplies they need, and just putting our focus back on that this year since we can't be in the building as much, if at all. So, but we are really excited. We'll be sending home some information as soon as school gets going about membership to our PTSA and what we're going to be doing this year and some of the things we're excited about. So you will be hearing from us then. We also have a Facebook page that is just Emerald Park PTSA on Facebook, so you can search us and follow us there. We post a lot of the school information on that page, so it's an easy way to get access to upcoming dates and things you need to know. So that's a good place to follow us. And there's also a message function where you can get a hold of us there. We are all excited to meet you, everybody, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, Megan. I really hope you're considering joining the PTSA. It's a great way to support the school They support students and their families in need, and also they're just a great group of people. So once we're actually able to be together in a building, or maybe even just with some remotely, I think you'll find them resourceful and a fun group of people to get to know as you all have kids at Emerald Park. I also wanted to give an introduction to Trisha Hurt. She is our counselor, and she just arrived. And Trisha was there. Can you introduce yourself? Well, maybe she wasn't ready for that. Okay, well, if she comes, we'll give her a chance to do that.
Oh, here I go.
We're ready.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay, great. Go ahead, turn your camera on.
Yes, I think my camera's on, and I believe my voice is on now too. I just want to say I welcome all you future navigators, and I look forward to supporting all of you, even remotely or in person, all right? I am the school counselor, and I do help families and kids during this remote learning if you need help with supplies like PTSA offered. I can also help connect with lots of different resources in the community. And I look forward to actually being part of your kids' learning this fall and making things feel more connected to our school and our community. So I look forward to seeing all of you, and we only have a few more weeks.
I know, that's exciting. Thank you, Trisha. She's a great person to get to know and reach out to. She has a lot of connections to resources in the community. So if you need anything there.
Mrs. Orrock? I would love to direct everybody over to the chat right now. This is Jolene Spellman again. So if you hover over that same area that has the mute and the camera option, there's a little bubble looking thing that has some lines in it. Go ahead and click on that, and a field will open up to, I believe you're right on most devices. So right now I'm going to go ahead and put a link in there that will say WA Kids Appointment Preference. And I want everybody to go on to this link and tell me what the name of your student and the preference that you would like for your meeting with your student's teacher. And I'll use this to make that schedule for you guys, and the teachers will be getting that out to you very, very soon. But I need that information to make that schedule. Also, when we move on to the question and answer portion, if you have any questions that you don't want to speak out loud, you're welcome to type them into this chat area, and we'll be able to get to those questions as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Spellman. So yeah, just click on that link so that we can get you scheduled if you haven't already for your WA Kids appointment. Your teachers are really eager to get to know you and your child together and find out more about how they can start out the year with a great understanding of what your needs are and what your goals are for your children. So we're going to move into the question and answer period. Before we do, I just want to say that a couple of things. First of all, when we first got on here to this Teams meeting and we were waiting for everybody to sort of arrive and figure out their camera and their sound and everything, everybody who was arriving and had kindergartners with them or near them or on their lap, boy, it was just such a joy for all of us. We are really looking forward to seeing the kids. I always say that one of the things that happens every year is school starts for grades 1 through 6, and then about 4 or 5 days later, depending on the schedule, the kindergartners come after their WA Kids meeting, and it really does bring an extra level of joy to the building. So it was nice to experience that virtually just now. The other thing is that we, in our email for you, where you learned about this event, where you learned your child's teacher and got some other information, we did include a PDF, a file that is the PowerPoint effectively that we would normally do for our kindergarten orientation in person. In the past, our kindergarten orientation, the family comes to the building, the parents come with me to the library. I give you a whole lot of information on a whole lot of slides. And the students go with the teachers to their rooms. They get a chance to see a kindergarten classroom, and there's a bunch of people there who meet them and get to know them and sometimes have ideas or questions or follow-up things they want to meet with you about. So since we're not able to do that, And we didn't think that having that PowerPoint presentation virtually made that much sense. That is what we've sent to you. So please use that as a resource, something to go back to. We'll get it posted on our website, and we'll also post this. But we wanted to make sure that you knew there's a lot of information to cover, but it's probably not all would make sense to cover right now in a virtual situation. So that said, let's move on to questions. We are starting the year remote learning. The first day of school for kindergartners is the 9th. We are in the process of planning a day where students can come to the school through like a drive-through and pick up things that they'll need for their learning. It might include some school supplies. All of that is still being worked out. It will potentially be August 28th, which is a Friday, or August 31st, which is a Monday. So you might want to pencil in those dates and keep your eye on your email, and know that we'll be sending out more information when that's solid.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
And the PTSA will be providing supplies to anybody that needs it. So we've got that worked out mostly today, so we should be all set. So if you need school supplies, you can drive through and pick those up. Valerie will get out that information as soon as we have a date and time nailed down. But if school supplies are a hardship for your family, we will certainly provide them.
So I'm going to open it up to questions. If you want to turn off your mic, you can turn on your camera. That's up to you. There's also, if you look, the same place where you clicked to open up the chat, there's also a little hand. And if you click that, you can raise your hand if you want to say, hey, I'm next and I want to talk. And then I can see it and I can acknowledge you, and then we'll all know who's talking. And again, you can also put things in the chat, and Ms. Spellman's going to help me monitor that. And depending on your question, will depend on who answers it.
Valerie, do you want to tell them about laptop pickup? I see that question in the chat, but I think a lot of parents will have questions about laptop pickup.
Yeah, at this point, what I can tell you is I know on the district website, it tells you to talk to the school about laptop pickup, but we haven't gotten anything solidified yet. It will probably be part of one of those 2 days, the 28th or the 31st, and details to follow on that. But everybody gets a laptop or some sort of device to use at home. Normally, we are a one-to-one school, so every student has a device to use at school. The difference now is we're having people work at home with it. There's also, the school's also working with people to provide support. So if you need some tech support on using it for the ways that your teacher is asking you and your student to access their education, there you can make appointments and go to the school district, and there's people set up to help you do that in a safe way, socially distanced. And then also there are hotspots that are being made available. All that information will come out with the information about the laptops. And hotspots just allow you to get Wi-Fi.
Okay, so I have a question. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question, my daughter, she's very hard to stay seated for a long time, and I know this is all like on the computer. So I'm a little nervous that she might not pull it through like the whole 6 hours. I don't know, how is the teaching style gonna be for kindergartens? Because my daughter, she cannot stay still for a very long time. So I'm pretty sure there's more like my daughter, that they just don't know how to stay still just because, you know, it's a development thing that they're going through. And how is that gonna work?
I'll answer like the schedule part of that, and then maybe teachers, you could talk, one of you want to talk a little bit about methodology. But I'll say that the schedule, we're eager for it to come out. We have guidance from the OSPI. We have a team of people in Kent, one of our work groups, working on what that template will look like. But from the OSPI, the state guidance, the instruction can be, like this, right? In a interactive Teams or Zoom type instruction, but it also can be things with small groups. It can be things that students do independently and then come back to the teacher with them. So, I think we're all learning about different strategies for virtual instruction, but the schedule that will be set up will not be a 6.5-hour day on the computer. I also want to add to that, I don't think, I haven't met your daughter, but I don't think she would be alone in being she wouldn't be alone in being a kindergartner and an adult who has a hard time sitting on a computer for 6 hours a day. So we're not going to ask that of our students.
Okay, thank you.
Natalie, Michelle, Jennifer, Tessa, do any of you want to talk at all about the instruction itself?
I can talk a little bit about it. You know, we will definitely be trying to make things as interactive as possible, trying to, you know, get movement and, you know, singing and songs and books and all the kinds of things that we would do, you know, in the classroom as well to try and differentiate and make things motivating to kids. We definitely, you know, understand that these kids are little, you know, they're just coming out of preschool, going into kindergarten, and we wouldn't expect them to be, you know, independently doing academic stuff for hours on the computer. Valerie, there was a question in the chat about the WA Kids conferences. Do you mind if I address that really fast?
Go for it.
Okay, so I saw somebody in the chat had said that the conference time sign up said assessment, and they were wondering if we will be assessing their kids during that time. The answer is no. During the WA Kids conferences, which are the 3rd, 4th, and 8th of September, the first 3 days of school, we will be talking, just getting to know each other, getting to know you, getting to know our students, and kind of working through like some of these questions, other questions I've been seeing about, you know, what are the programs you use, and how do I access things on the computer, and we'll just be kind of doing more conversation and talking during that time. The assessment piece will just kind of be ongoing in our instruction and what we're doing. Again, we're not sure yet what exactly that will look like, but that will be just more of a part of our instruction and kind of the first couple months of school. If I didn't cover anything, Natalie, Jennifer, Tessa, feel free to jump in.
No, sounds good, Michelle. Thanks.
Yeah, I think you covered a lot of it. Our day is going to start with a circle talk, and that's going to be questions every day asking your child about just simple things like what makes them happy, what makes them, you know, excited, what they like to learn about. Just every day we'll ask a question, and that's kind of how we're going to take attendance too, is starting that day with the hi, how are you doing today? And checking in with your child. So that'll be something fun and something to look forward to every day. But just like Mrs. Cook said, we're not sure what the schedule is. They're still working on, you know, the exact times that you'll be working on the computer. But a lot of it will be, you know, watching the video of us and then going and doing some independent work. And we're going to try to make that as user-friendly as possible. So we've been taking a lot of classes and working together as a team to get as much as we can ready for your child so that they can work as independently as possible, but we also want someone to be able to help them out at home.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that on the WA Kids, and also for that additional kind of help people see a picture of what it might look like. Jolene, do we have any other questions in the chat? Or
We
does
do.
anybody else
We've
want
got
to ask one?
a few here. Let's see. When sending information home, should we expect email or items in the mail?
Good question. At this point, the district's not expecting to be doing mailings. We were meeting with the PTSA yesterday, and we are developing a communication plan. It's going to be sort of ongoing. What we would like to do is set up something where every other week there's something that comes to families that will be electronic. It will probably be available in multiple locations as we're working on that. So yeah, expect things like that. The exception of that would be hard copy materials that might be available when we do the the distribution, the start of school that we talked about for August 28th and 31st. If you haven't signed up for the KSD app, I would encourage you to do that. We aren't pushing things out through the app yet, but if you are somebody who likes to get notifications on your phone, what you do is you download the app and you'd associate yourself with Emerald Park. You're automatically associated with Kent School District. And then when we get to a point we start pushing things out through that app, you would get a notification.
Another question from the chat. Will, can you get, wait, hold on one second, sorry. Will the students be using Microsoft Teams?
Yes.
Okay, that was a good one. Can you give an example of what a typical day will look like?
You know, I can't at this point. I can give you very broad strokes. There will be about 4 hours of instruction, but that could be going to a PE class, that could be doing a music activity with the music teacher, that could be working with your teacher along the social emotional and the circle type lessons. Sometimes Ms. Hurt comes and joins those. And then of course core instruction. So it could be different things, different days, but what we'll be working on is having a set schedule so that you know what days they need to be and what times they need to be sitting ready to be on the computer.
I have a good one here from the chat. I have a parent asking, will kindergartners have their own account, or are we going to send them a number or an email for their students?
Who was it that was asking me about that today? Was that you, Natalie?
That was Mrs. Cook. Okay,
it was Mrs. Cook. I have to learn a little bit more about what is needed on the parent end for students to get on the computer, because I know more about how that works with the students who are a little older. So having had some experience with that last spring, is there any of the teachers who can outline what's involved in that? Michelle?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Thanks.
I mean, I don't know a ton, but what I know from last year was that parents had to access student emails in your student email account in order to get onto Teams and different, like the Canvas. I know that was in the chat. Somebody mentioned Canvas. So we will, again, that's something that we can talk to you about. We will be sending emails about how to do that. We have step-by-step visual examples on how to get onto the email. You will need your student ID number, and I believe Jolene probably knows how you can find that out to access, and you will also need to get onto the KSD website, and pretty much all of the different office apps you need will be in there. It's not a real clear answer, but that's kind of as much as I know.
If I can add a little bit to that, after the laptop distribution or the device distribution, however that's going to work, all of these things, once you learn how to help your child log on to their computer, they'll be able to access their email, their Canvas, all on that laptop, because it's kind of self-contained. So it'll be a lot easier, and we're working on making sure that each student that gets their information will also get their student ID number and all of that. If you don't get it during device pickup, then we'll send out an email to the parents that gives them their student's ID number if they need that.
I would add to that one thing Michelle mentioned. If you have an older child in Kent School District, you might be familiar with Canvas, but it's something that is new for the elementary to start using with this start of the year in remote learning. So the teachers are going to be learning more about that, and as they do, they'll push out information to the families, to their students, and then we can also share information about it to the families.
Do we have time for a couple more questions, Ms. Orrock?
I think so.
All
Do we have any
right.
more in the chat?
Jolene, I saw one about a parent asking if they needed to use the laptop from KSD. And just from a parent perspective, I thought we might not need one, but it works so much better on the KSD laptops because they are all set up and ready to go, and the teachers can help sort of troubleshoot issues. If you're on your own computer, it makes that more challenging. So just from a parent's point of view, if you have the ability to pick up one of the KSD laptops, I think it's definitely worth it, just so that everything is familiar. And it's the same laptop they'll be using once they get into school in person as well. Ellie.
No, that's
thought I'd throw
really
that in there.
great. No, that's really great because there's a lot of parents that feel if they have a laptop at home that they,
Yeah.
maybe shouldn't pick up one from the, or get one from the school. But you all are welcome to do that when that becomes
Yeah, and you're not
available.
taking one from somebody that needs it. Each child has a laptop, so use that resource if you have the ability to pick one up. It's really worth it. So.
And they learn to use it and use things, and so when they go to the school, they're familiar with the way things look and how they're set up, so they don't have to learn. Because sometimes the same program on a different computer looks a little different.
Definitely. And another question from the chat is, what programs will the teachers use? And that was actually answered in the chat, so I'm just going to read that. A few of the examples are Reading is a Journey, Kids A to Z, Math, iReady, Writing is Letter Formation, Phonics, Sounding Out Words, and Making Sentences. And the science that they use is FOSS and other materials. So those are just some of the materials and programs that the kindergarten uses. If you'd like to write those down, those are in the chat as well, a few up from the bottom. It's asking
One thing,
about,
if I could interject right there, some of that information is also on the document that we sent home. So if you want to go back and refer to that.
Perfect. It's asking about if we'll send packets home every week to complete.
There's no plans for that.
And let's see.
Natalie, is there anything that you want to add about that? Natalie is not only an amazing kindergarten teacher, but she also sits on a couple of our curriculum teams, math, and she's been working on the remote science. Is there any plans to be doing any mailings from what you've learned?
That we're still waiting for approval on a lot of things. So we proposed a couple of different things like manipulatives being sent home for math working. So we're still waiting to see if it was approved and how much the budget will allow for that to happen. So we're still waiting.
And just to touch on the laptops one more time, I'm getting a lot of questions in the chat about the laptops. At this point, there isn't a date set for pickup of laptops or distribution of devices. So as soon as we have that information, we will get that out to you. So I don't have a specific date to give you, but as soon as it does, I will email that all out to you or put it in a robocall. Those are the automated phone calls that come out from the school. So just keep looking at your email and answer the phone if it comes from the district. And I think that actually I'm hoping I didn't miss any, but I think that was all of the questions that I saw.
Question, please. I think you missed my question. So can I?
Hello.
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah. So this year I'm going to have 3 students actually in my house, and me also working from home. So I think everybody will be fighting over the internet. So have you just considered or maybe thought about how to schedule classes in a way that reduces the overlap and therefore allows us to be connected efficiently?
The work group that's working on the schedule did get input from principals, and that was one of the things that principals shared, that was something we'd heard from families, we'd heard from teachers. There was a struggle to have kids. Sometimes it was a bandwidth issue. Sometimes it was a kitchen table's not big enough issue. There were different struggles. So I don't think they'll be able to develop any schedule that will work for everyone. but they did take that into consideration. And so we're all eager to see what the parameters are that we need to work with them.
The hotspots that the district has available, they are doing upgrades on those, so that may help with some of the issues too, where you can connect directly to a district hotspot to try to, increase your connectivity in the home. So we're waiting to get more information on that, but that may help that issue as well.
How can I connect to a hotspot from my home?
So it's a mobile hotspot that you pick up and you plug in at your house.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you. Actually, because all the conversations will be video, so that's why there will be never enough bandwidth for like 4 people in the same house trying to do their work. Yeah.
It is a challenge.
Yes, it is a challenge.
And if there is anyone that is either doesn't have reliable connectivity at their home or needs support for getting internet into their home, and then you just go to the Kent School District webpage, and they have information on how to go and pick up a free hotspot for your home. And if you're unaware of what a hotspot is, it really is just a device, and it almost looks like a cell phone, and you can remotely connect to with a district laptop, connect to that, and it'll give you internet at your home. So it can be that you don't have internet, and it can also, it could also be that you you don't have enough internet or your connection stops working on occasion, those types of situations. So the best thing to do is just to go on to the Kent School District webpage and look for the internet links that are on there, and it'll tell you what the next ones that are coming out are. The newest hotspot that is out actually looks like this. It's a little bitty one. So, and it's all wireless. So, and if you have any questions about that, of course, you can email me and I can forward you on to the right people.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Glad we have another one coming.
Third one.
No, that's not right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You saw him last year, I think. Yeah.
I did.
Bye-bye.
He's excited. He was excited actually to play and, see people, but unfortunately, it's not the best chance to. Anyway, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, I want to honor people's time and some of the staff's time. So that about wraps up our question and answer. I'm sure there are more questions that you have. I'm going to urge you to look at that document that we sent out, because that's pretty solid information that we cover every year. Please keep your eye on your email. If you have a change of information, especially an email, but also a phone number, please go ahead and call our main office. Jolene will get you in touch with Judy, and we'll get that changed in our records. And that goes for always. If you get a new cell phone, you want to register it with us, please let us know. Jolene's modeling the latest hotspot there.
There was a question on the chat for me to show it again.
The other thing is that we are in unusual times, and I appreciate everybody's patience as we are getting information out to people as fast as we can. It's probably going to be kind of fast and furious the next few weeks, so please stay tuned. I think our teachers, I want to say the staff, all of the staff, but especially the teachers, did an amazing job this last spring shifting into this virtual education without even a virtual education training of their own. And so we're hoping they're going back into this year much more comfortable. They're going to have much more tools, much more training. And in some level, as much as this next week is going to be busy, it's going to go slow. Everything doesn't have to be 100% the first day, other than the teachers and the kids are together and the teachers have a plan for the students. Some technology will get rolled out more slowly. We don't expect kindergartners to come in and be whizzes on Flipgrid and some of these different programs right away. So give yourself some grace. Let's give them some grace and let them have as positive as experience as possible. And lastly, we will be taking attendance. And so I just want you to be mindful. I know things happen. Wi-Fi doesn't always work. Things happen in life. But we are shooting for 90% attendance for the school year. And so please, if there's a reason that your child's not going to be able to log on that day, as soon as you are able, if you can let us know about that and why, that helps us on our end. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We've never done this before. If we feel there's a need for another one, we're going to plan another one of these. So we'll let you know if there's more information that we think would be helpful to give to you in this medium, or give you a chance to ask more detailed questions. We will make that happen, and maybe that will be after school starts. Between now and then, you should hear from your teachers about Walk Kids, and you should hear from your teachers eventually here about a meet and greet where your student can come and meet some of their classmates in a forum like this. So for the good of the order, is there anybody with a last minute thing to say before we say goodbye to our families? Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll be in touch. We miss you.
Thanks.
We're looking forward to meeting you. Bye-bye. You're a navigator now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. All right, signing off. Wow.
Yeah.
Baby, she's so nice. Right?
The teacher say bye. Nice job, team.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Welcome, Tessa.
Bye, Logan.
Thank you.
Hey, Mrs. Teacher. Yeah, teacher.
Okay, guys. Okay. Done. Let's do it. Bobby.